What's up, brothers and sisters? It's your brother G World 7_D. I'm going to talk about something real quick, and I want you brothers and sisters to pick up on it. Alright, pick up on it. I always say pick up on certain things. Now, before when I showed this book, is Nature Knows No Color Line by J. Rogers. I showed you the image of black royalty. Now, you had several stupid people, white people, and probably some coloreds, came in there and claiming that those are Africans. One guy was trying to argue me down and say those are Africans. No, those are black Europeans. They try to deflect that because they don't want to acknowledge the fact that the people who ruled Europe are all black. All right. But then one clown came and said that they, by them wearing those ties in their head or those scarves over their head, that represent ones who have captured and ones who was enslaved. That's totally a lie, man. A lot of our people wore those so-called, what you call headbands. That goes back to ancient Egypt. Actually before that, but you see that with Egypt. So that's a lie in itself. And so you had several people coming there on my page lying. One, like I said, the one clown started pushing off authors that he thought I did not know about, but I mentioned before in the post after that now I've read everything he read, but more. All right, but see, idiots coming to your page, extremely ignorant and don't know what the hell they're talking about. But I digress. But I want to talk about the Stewart line. The Stewart line is the royalty line, the black royalty line of Scotland. Right? So you gotta pick up a lot of things, man. The Stewart line, the royalty line of Scotland. All right, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read. You can pick up a lot of things in these three books. It's Ancient Modern Britain. So that's volume 1, 2, and this is Nature Knows No Color Line. All right. Now I'm gonna go to Lee Cummings' book, The Negro Question: Who I Am, Black and White. Lee Cummings' book. Now, I don't know why. Well, most of your Negro scholars, like I said before, they don't talk about anything. But I'm gonna go in this book and do some reading, some things real quick. But I hope you pick up on it. All right. Hope brothers and sisters pick up on this, because this is something that we gotta wake up to, man. Because we've been totally lied to by everything. All right. Harriet Tubman. All right. Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman Ross Stewart. Harriet Tubman Ross Stewart. Harriet Tubman Ross Stewart. Okay. After Harriet Tubman escaped slavery, she completed 13 missions, rescuing her family. Notice he highlighted that. I already knew this. And other members of the Negro race from the hard captivity in America. She was nicknamed Moses, and large rewards were issued for her arrest and whereabouts, but they had no knowledge that it was her. This is the legend of the Underground Railroad. Okay, he goes on. There's a lesson in her Harriet Tubman actions, and that is when you make it out of the ghetto, don't forget to reach back and help the ones left behind. All right. Now we're gonna go on and we're gonna turn to this page right here. Okay, I'm gonna read some things to you. Okay, here we go. Harriet Tubman is a news article about her and her two brothers running away and reward for their capture and return. He goes, what if I told you that you have never heard the real Harriet Tubman Ross Stewart story, and that until today it has been a secret? The question is, what was Harriet really up to? The answer to this riddle can be found in the last names of the people that Harriet Tubman Ross Stewart rescued. Look carefully at the last names on this list. Now, I've seen the list, but this is in his book. All right. Let me get it focused. It does this, man, when I want to make a point. But I'm going to probably just read it now. Okay. John Stewart. William Henry Stewart. William Henry Stewart. Catherine Stewart. Margaret Ann Stewart. William Henry Ross. Margaret Stewart. Anne Marie Stewart. Emily Millie Who Stewart, John Stewart, Benjamin Ross, Moses Ross, George Ross, Robert Ben Ross, Henry Stewart, Catherine Kane Stewart, John Isaac Ross Stewart. All right, you go down. He goes on. As I researched Harriet's parents' last name, Stewart and Ross, I found out they were Scottish. Remember I said that most of these Negroes come from school. Okay. I grabbed a medieval Scottish clans map, and I found out that they were royalty from the Highlands of Scotland. Now my curiosity was piqued, so I sought eyewitness accounts as to the color of the Highlanders of Scotland. All right. Now, I've mentioned before that them British Isles, Scottish, Wales, all that stuff was Negroes, man. I mentioned this before, but I'm going to go and turn to this page right here. Let me get some focus here. The inhabitants of Britain belong to various different races. Britain was inhabited by the Basques from ancient times, and they called themselves Roman citizens. In their books, they were called the Britons or Welsh. There are two types of Welsh. One is dark and 5 feet 4 inches, and the other is tall and round-headed. The English pushed the dark Welsh, Britain westward into Wales. Remember I said that? Cumberland, Westmoreland, Highlands of Scotland, Cornwall, and Devon. And he goes, Professor Dawkins is telling the reader that the original inhabitants of England and Britain were black, which I said that over and over again, and you can read Ancient Modern Britons, both volumes, and they should know no color line. He also, let me go right here. Okay. He is also letting the reader know that the blacks were pushed into Britain, Wales, and the Highlands of Scotland. He is telling us that the Briton and English were originally black before the white barbarians' invasion of 449 AD. What failed in 449 AD? Mm-hmm. All right. The Lord has given us the first clues. The Highlanders of Scotland were a black people, and they're anyone eyewitness. And I mentioned before with Benjamin Franklin, eyewitness, he talked about the various different black groups that outnumber so-called white people. There was very few white people, so these different black groups like Russia, Italy, these are all Negroes at the time. All right, but I'm going to go even further. I'm going to skip this one by Benjamin Franklin, what he said, and I'm going to go on even further about the black people of Europe. A description of the western islands of Scotland. The complexion of the islanders of Skye is black. The complexion of the islanders of Arran is brown. The complexion of the islanders of Jura is black. The complexion of the islanders of the Isles of Colonial is black. The complexion, of the Isles of Gigha is black. All right. This is not only an accurate description of Scottish people, but it's the description of the original colonists of the 13 British colonies. This is the secret of Europe, that the original colonists were black. The eyewitness account was given in 1695. This timeline runs parallel with the founding of the colonies. And he goes, I have greater eyewitness than this come to see, but I'm going further. Memoirs of the Public and Private Life of William Penn. This is in his book, which I have too. The natives I shall consider in their persons, languages, manners, customs, and governments. Their complexion is black. Their complexion is black, but by design, like the gypsies in England, and using no defense against the sun. Their skin must be swarthy black. King James Stewart was a Highlander from Scotland who also called himself Jacobite. I can't pronounce that, man. My bad. In Hebrew, it means Jacobite. This man was an Israelite. You can find the research in the Negro Question, Part 6. That's his book, The 13 Black Colonies. This conversation that you and I are having today is a secret in these colonies. King James was known as the King James Stewart the Sixth. Let me get this clear. King James was known as King James Stewart the Sixth of Scotland and became King James Stewart the First of England. They tried to hide the Scottish background because the scholars know that the Scots were a black nation of people from ancient times. And you know about John Mackey, where he wrote about the images he seen back in Europe, who were the black people in Europe. That's what John Mackey wrote. I'm going to skip down even further, and I want to go to, was his King Charles, the Negro King Charles. All right? All right, but I'm going to go here. And he goes on to say right here, I had to parade all these eyewitnesses before you get to your mind ready for the real Harriet Tubman Ross Stewart. Harriet Tubman Ross Stewart was a black Scottish princess. I repeat, Harriet Tubman Ross Stewart was a black Scottish princess from the royal house of Stewart. Harriet's real mission was to rescue the black royal Stewart seed from captivity in Maryland. I have placed ships manifest of prisoners shipped into the colonies during the Jacobite rebellion. These are Negroes right here, man. 1715 to 1745. Anyone who studies history know the Jacobites were Negroes, man. They rounded up the black Stewart princess and sent them into the colonies as prisoners. Jacobite rebellion ship manifest. The plot thickens when Harriet Tubman Ross Stewart rescues a black man from slavery named William Henry Stewart. The name William Stewart can be found of the convict ship Scipio 1716 and the ship York, the royal seed of the Stewart convict ship. The Jacobites were a group of Hebrew Israelites that tried to restore the black Scottish Stewart kings back to the throne, and hence they took on the name Jacobites. The rebellions in your history books are called the Jacobite rebellions of 1715 and 1745. Since slavery was not recognized by Britain nor England, the system of indentured servitude was established. These are the so-called convicts that England sent into the colonies. The white version of history left out one small detail. These were black princesses, and noblemen. This proves that the Stewart royals were being rounded up and deported in the colonies as convicts. What was their crime? They believe in the divine right of the kings to rule, and they tried to restore the black stewards to the throne of the three kingdoms. Are you there? Let's play the game conspiracy theory. What are the odds that the same name William Henry Seward appears as Secretary of State in the administration of Abraham Lincoln? Think about this. Harriet Tubman Stewart rescues a man with the name of William Henry Stewart in 1854, and 11 years later, the same name appears as Secretary of State of the United States, minus the T. What's the odds? Are you still there? William Henry Stewart. Okay, and if I can focus on this now. And goes on. The same day that Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, the entire family of the black Sewards was savagely attacked by an assassin by the name of Lewis Powell, a 20-year-old Confederate soldier. Powell / Secretary of State William Henry Seward, Assistant Secretary of State Frederick Augustus Stewart, and his daughter, but they all lived. It was a hit on the entire administration. There is another intriguing element to this story that cannot be dismissed. When Harriet Ross Tubman, and her family made it to Canada, they dropped the last name, Ross, Earl, and assumed the title Stewart, King. This cannot be a coincidence. Let me stop right there, man. I believe Harriet Tubman was a black European woman. She ain't come from no goddamn Africa. She came from Europe. She's from that black royalty line, man. These bastards been lying their asses off. They made her come from some goddamn Africa to try to rewrite our true history out of Europe, man. These son of a bitches, man. But this is the lie that these bastards been doing for years. But I'm gonna go on even further, man. I'm gonna show you this picture again of the black Germans who had the castle. Right? These are black Germans ruling the castle. See the black king, princess, and the guardsmen, and they protecting the castle from the wild people, the wild beasts. These white people, the wild beasts. And this is in Germany. These are black Germans. All right, these are people who ruled Germany. Notice the headbands they had in their damn hand. These are not slaves. These are not captured slaves. These are free black people who ruled the damn land. Notice it's the damn castle. All right, I showed this in one of my other books. I'm gonna continue to bang in this, man, because I'm sick of idiots like SETI, and I'm sick of idiots like Umar Johnson hollering that you come from Africa as slaves, man. Well, most of us are here, or most of our other people came from Europe, man, from black royalty, from Scotland, from Britain, from Wales. I'm gonna talk about something else. Okay, here it is, right here, because I want to highlight this. Black German drummer from a regiment, all right? In the year 1768, the British sent, first of all, here's the brother. The nose is like a little feather in his head, man. Like he wearing some type of little hat and a feather in his damn head. In the year 1768, the British sent 4,000 contracted black German troops into Boston to police the city after their revolt. To the Townsend Act. The Townsend Act were a series of measures passed by the British Parliament in 1767 that taxed goods imported to American colonies. All right. The colonists objected because they felt that they were being taxed without representation. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Benjamin Franklin said they were swarthy Germans, and Thomas Jefferson said they were foreign mercenaries. I remember, these are not no damn Africans, but you can tell this is a black man, but you can tell he's not a goddamn African, man. I'm sick and tired of these goofy Pan-African and these stupid white folks who need to stay out of our business. And here we go. Here are the redcoats. These are all Negroes, man. Look at this. Boston Massacre, 1770, engraved by Paul Revere. This image was engraved by Paul Revere, who had engraving business and was contracted by the United States government. Take a closer look at the redcoats, black Germans. The English soldiers are black, but remember, the ethnic makeup of the army included the black Scots and black Germans. The depiction of the English army by Paul Revere is consistent with the eyewitness accounts of Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and Private Daniel Führer. The Germans were swarthy and more. Those are goddamn Negroes, man. Those are goddamn Negroes, man. Here goes some more Negroes. Black German Hessian soldiers. Look at this. I think you can get his face a little bit clearer. Look at this. The British occupied Philadelphia from September 1778 to June 1778, exactly 10 months. The English armies were led by General Cornwallis and black German Hessian General Wilhelm. The establishment is hiding the Hessian pictures. Black German occupation of Philadelphia, 10 months. Remember, Georgia was named after a black king. The state of Georgia was named after a Negro, man. In the year 1778, the English led by the Lieutenant Colonel Archibald Campbell led invasion of Savannah, Georgia, with an army of contracted black German Hessian troops. Colonel Archibald was a Scottish landowner from the Highlands of Scotland. And what did Professor Boyd Dawkins tell us about the Highlanders? He said that they were black swarthy. There were 4 black armies present at the Battle of Savannah, Georgia. Haiti, France, Germany, and the colonies. And then he talking about have signed manifestation of the ships from Liverpool, a ship used to transport Jacobite rebels in 1745 that gives an accurate depiction of Campbell's black German occupation in Savannah, Georgia. Now, like I said, black German. I just showed you a picture of black Germans ruling Europe at the castle. I just showed you that now. I'm going to try to find this picture again. I'm going to show you this picture again of the black people who ruled Europe. Now, we got to start using common sense, man. We got to start using common sense. And here it is, the black people who had the castle in Europe. All right, hold on, let me get this. Let me get a good picture. See? Look at these are Negroes at this castle. All right? Look at the castle. Look what it says. German tapestry, 1400 AD, depicting black soldiers defending a black king and queen in the windows from attacking white men, called the whites wild men and the Moors. See the black people in the castle. Remember I told them castles are built by black people. This is the 1400s. And these are white barbarians. And these white folks could never have been the Romans or the Greeks. Alright? And there were black people already there before the, quote, Islamic Moors invasion. Because the Catholic Church was started by Negroes. And I'm going to take one thing further before my time ends, man. You constantly hear these bastards say that, quote, Europeans did not know that the world was round. Let me tell you something, man. Here's Negro King James, all right? Notice he's holding his ball in his hand, man. Notice it's round. And it's holding his left side. That's representing the rulership of the world or one part of the world. Look at that round ball. All right, it's round. With like a little cross on top. It's round. It's not flat. It's round. They knew that the world was round. It's just the barbaric white folks didn't know nothing, man. All right, brothers and sisters, man. Peace.